Hey, Jonathan here, the founder of Driving Academy, and today we're going to be talking about endorsements. And how do you get them? What are they? So, let's talk about what is a CDL endorsement. CDL endorsement is an extra thing you add to your license that grants you access to drive different types of vehicles. Alright, so what are the endorsements that are available? You can get a tanker endorsement, a hazardous material endorsement, a doubles and triples endorsement, a school bus endorsement, and a passenger bus endorsement as well. So let's break these down one by one. First thing is going to be a tanker endorsement. So if you have a tanker endorsement, that gives you access to transport liquids around. So that means you can drive something like this. But what kind of liquids can you actually transport? You can transport any liquid that's not considered hazardous, which means what? You could transport water, juice, you can transport milk in the dairy industry, anything that's pretty much food grade and liquid, then that means you can actually transport it with a tanker endorsement. So how do you get a tanker endorsement? It's pretty simple. If you have your CDL license already, all you have to do is go back to your local DMV, pass a 20-question written exam, and bam, once you pass it, bam, they're going to add it right to your license, and there's no road test required. So all you have to do to get a tanker endorsement is pass the written test. So now let's say you're driving something like this, which is a fuel tanker, and you're transporting fuel behind it. So you definitely need tanker endorsement, but now because you're transporting hazardous material, you're going to need a hazardous material endorsement as well. Alright, so what does that mean? That just gives you access to transport things that are considered hazardous. And it can be something as crazy as radioactive material, or it can be something as simple as a whole trailer load of hairspray. Yes, hairspray, because it is flammable and it's at the right quantity, you are going to need to be required to have a hazardous material endorsement to transport that load. So how do we get a hazardous material endorsement on our license? This one's a little bit more difficult than a normal tanker endorsement. So this one, for one, the test is harder. So you're going to have to go to DMV, pass a written test first. It is a longer test and it is more difficult, and this is something you're going to have to renew every 2 years. Okay, so if you're thinking about it and you're going to school now and you're thinking about getting your tanker endorsement, unless you have a job lining up right out of school, I wouldn't recommend it, because again, you're going to have to redo it every 2 years because things do change in that field right there. Alright, the other thing you're going to have to do to add the tanker endorsement to your license is go through a background check, which means you have to go to a state facility fingerprinting site, which you can just pretty much download the form online. You can go to a TSA and they'll actually do the hazardous material fingerprinting check to run a state background. Alright, so once you have the fingerprints and once you pass the written test, now you can go to DMV, and if you have a normal CDL license already, you can now add that to your license. If you don't have a license yet, you just do that while you're in the permit phase, and then once you pass the road test, which is going to be a normal road test, then you add that to your license there. So to get a hazardous material endorsement is pass a written test and get fingerprints done to do a background check, but you are not required to take a road test. Alright? So we talked about the tanker, we talked about the crazy material stuff. Hazmat, as you see right there, the cloud of smoke that just popped out of my hand because we just dropped the nuclear waste product and it's burning my hand right now. Let's see if the editing team is good. We'll find out. Alright, so next is going to be doubles and triples. Doubles and triples, what does that mean? That technically means that you can transport 2 or 3 trailers at the same time. Now why would anybody want to do that? That's pretty much like a train on the street. Hey, it's a cool gig. One thing is, you're just going to be able to go forward, because backing those things up ain't that easy. So if you want to add a doubles and triple endorsement to your license, and these are usually used by companies like FedEx or mail carriers, because now they're transporting multiple trailers to get to a certain destination, all you have to do is pass a written test again, and then once you pass the written test, then you can go and get your actual endorsement put on your license. Again, if you have a permit right now, or you're working to get a permit, just pass the written test, and then once you take your normal road test in a normal truck, you're going to have that endorsement added to your license as well. So why would somebody want doubles or triples? So if you think about it logically, doubles and triples means you usually have 2 smaller trailers behind the truck. Okay, so you're going to have the truck here, you're going to have a trailer, and then another trailer. So they're going to be transporting the whole the whole vehicle to warehouse number 1. That's where they get to unload one trailer and then bring trailer number 2 to warehouse number 2, right? So instead of making a stop and then unhooking, loading up and unloading, it's much easier and much more efficient if everything is uniformed and depending on the company that you work for. That would be one of the reasons to have a double or triple endorsement on your license itself. Alright, so now let's talk about how to get a passenger endorsement. So a passenger endorsement is going to give you access to drive people around. The only people you cannot drive around would be kids in a school bus. So if you have a normal passenger endorsement, you can drive any kind of bus, any kind of shuttle, except school buses, okay? So how do you get a passenger endorsement? 3 steps. Step 1, you're going to have to pass the written test, okay? It's usually a 20-question test. Step 2, you're going to have to get fingerprints done because you are transporting people who want to know who you are. And step number 3, you're going to have to pass a 2.5-hour-long road test in a bus itself. But John, I just took the test in the Class A. It doesn't matter. You want the passenger, you're going to have to take the whole road test again. So if you have a Class A license already and you want to get that passenger endorsement, that means you're going to have to go through all 3 steps. If you don't have anything yet, that just means you're going to have to get your permit, make sure the passenger endorsement's on there, make sure you get fingerprints done. When you go for the road test in the bus, you're going to have yourself a Class B with passenger endorsement. Alright, so now the last endorsement that we're going to talk about is if you want to transport this yellow thing right over here. And that's right, that's a school bus. So, school bus endorsement means that you can transport passengers who are considered students. That means you can work for the Board of Ed, you can work for a private school bus company, or even a Catholic school itself, transporting the buses around. So to get a school bus endorsement, it's kind of the same thing as a passenger endorsement. But in this case, you're going to need to get the passenger endorsement written test passed, the school bus endorsement written test passed. You're going to have to get fingerprints done as well, and then you're going to have to take the whole road test again in a school bus. So say you want to go for the school bus and passenger endorsement, you can always do that at the same time. You don't have to take 2 road tests. So it's not like you have to bring a passenger bus and then a school bus on top of that. If you just bring the school bus, that means that you are able to drive both passenger and school buses. Alright, so this is Jonathan from Driving Academy. We just went over how to get all the endorsements on your CDL license and what they all mean to you. Stick around for other videos where we can teach you some more stuff about getting a CDL. We have a mission of helping 1 million people get on the road to freedom through videos like this and through our training school in Linden, New Jersey. We can help you get an endorsement, or we can help you get your CDL for the first time. We are the only school around that can actually guarantee that we get you the license that you're after, and then we can also help you out with free lifetime job placement. So if you want more information, I want you to call the number that you see on the screen, 908-525-3609. We're currently located in Linden, New Jersey, with plans to open up nationwide. So give us a call, hope to hear from you soon, and let's get you on the road to freedom. Thanks.